Accra has experienced many floods before, but this one is the worst of all because of the heavy rainfall that hits Accra over the weeks continuously. And the one that caused this recent flood is one of the highest rainfall Accra has ever experienced, according to what the President of the Republic of Ghana said. The scenes are scary. The rate at which the water level reached at some places, bro, if you don't know how to swim properly, you cannot survive. What?
The Bamcha rescue team, Kumchacha area, behind Malam Station, behind Malcolm. Please, we need a rescue team. Please, we need an assistance for people.
It is really bad and sad as well, because this is really beyond control. People could neither go out nor even stay in their own homes. Even when there was information for people to stay at home, you find people swimming out from their homes. This is really sad. Let's pray for Accra. Cars and human beings were floating on water like paper. People in Alajo community had no place to even run for safety. They have nowhere to go. The whole community was filled up.
So this is Alajo. The whole Alajo was flooded. The whole Alajo. So this is Alajo for you. All Alajo was flooded.
And the damages, oh my God.
So this place is a Benz shop. This one is a Benz shop. It's just they do fix Benz cars, you know, GLE and the rest. And now all these cars are covered. Now I don't know how this mechanic is going to explain to the owners. How GLU? Like all these cars, like Charlie, bro. Look at this car is gone. Like I mean, it's crazy. People are now swimming. People are swimming. Like I mean, because the situation is getting like bad, like really, really bad. Oh, Charlie, this is crazy. Charlie. It's really, really crazy.
People were even harvesting items wiped away from warehouses and all that. People living in Accra, they have to take responsibility to cooperate with the government to fix this problem once and for all, because this is natural disaster. Nature is undetermined. You cannot control the nature part, but you can control the human part. We cannot tell nature the volume of rainfall that we want it to fall in Accra, but the government can open the blocked waterways that are causing all these floods. In doing so, if the community did not cooperate with the government, it's going to be difficult, because one time ago I saw a video of the AMA demolishing some structures. And if you see the way the owner of one of the structures was crying and pleading and yelling, you see, it's at a point, I feel sorry for the person. But you see, looking at situations like this is really sad. The community has to cooperate with the government. If they tell you your house or your property is on waterways, like the president said, part of Accra are stream, you see, and people have built on these streams. And a stream is like a dam. When it rains, it accumulates a lot of water. And that is why they are waterways that convey the water into the sea. So whoever has his property or whatever on these waterways must be removed. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has given a breakdown of what really happened, the cause, and what happened next after his aerial inspection of the flooded areas in Accra. So let's listen to what the president said about these recent floods and what is the next plan.
We just finished an aerial tour of Accra to inspect the flooded areas. Unfortunately, the flooding has been very extensive today for several reasons. One, the recorded rainfall today is one of the highest in several years. The Meteo looking at approximately 140 millimeters that was dumped on Accra. Last year, the maximum rainfall was 56 on a single day, and so the volumes are much higher. And so there are many issues to the flooding in Accra. There's climate. If you look at the rainfall pattern from 2024, 2025 to 2026, you see that increasingly every year we're getting more rain in Accra than we used to get. GMET say that in 2024, for a period of 30 days in June, we had 85 millimeters of rain. And then in 2025, it increased to 172. And then in 2026, for the same 30-day period in June, it increased to 333. And so the waterways are not getting a chance to recover before more rain is dumped. And the wet days are more. Out of 30 days, 22 days, it kept raining. And so there were only 7 dry days or 8 dry days in June. And so that's the climate side. That is an act of God that we can't control. But then there's also the engineering and the man-made causes. That is, like I said before, Accra is built between 2 natural bodies, the Kwapim Mountain Range and the Atlantic Ocean. And before Accra was built, the streams used to flow through this plain to reach the sea. Now, the British brought the capital to Accra, and in those years it was not a problem because Accra was a very small city. But as the population continues to increase and people continue to build, it restricts the path of the streams on their way to the Atlantic. So that's an engineering problem. We need to see how to open the channel so that the water can pass. But then there's also the other aspect, which is attitudinal and human behavior. That is dumping garbage in the drains, putting all kinds of items in the drains after we finish creating waste instead of sending it to the appropriate place. Even in the air, we discovered many illicit dumping sites where the wetlands are. People have gone to create a waste dumping ground, and they charge 20 cedis for the aboboya to come and fill the waste into the wetlands. And when it has filled sufficiently, they sell the land to people to come and build on it. And so we need to, one, look at it from an engineering perspective in terms of how we can open up the channels, but at the same time look at how we can identify all the buildings that are obstructing the waterways. We've said this many times, I'm tired of hearing it, but anytime you begin to take action and you start breaking houses, people think that government is inhumane. But when the problem arises like this flood, it affects everybody. And so all of us have been affected because of the conduct of a few people blocking the channels and preventing the water from passing. And so we'll call a National Security Council meeting. We're asking every district to identify, together with the Works and Housing Ministry, where the blockages in the channels are as they pass through the district assemblies, so that we can earmark those places for removal. We'll not only break the houses, we have to move the rubble out of the way, because there's no use breaking a house and leaving the rubble in the waterway. It's just the same as leaving the house. And so it's going to be quite a major issue in order to resolve the problem of Accra. But ultimately, the other solution will be to decongest Accra. And that's why we're planning that we move some of the city out, that is the major government departments, and then also create a new center of growth so that our people will start building outside Accra in a new city instead of everybody looking for some space in Accra to build. So, but that's a long-term solution. Like I said, it's a 20-year project. They are still working on the designs. Once they do that, we'll demarcate, people can start buying plots. If they like, they can start building houses. We'll do the roads, bring the water and electricity so that it eases the pressure on Accra as a city. But I just want to express my sympathy with people who have lost property. Loss of property has been very extensive, and I want to thank the military, NADMO, the police, and the Hydro, Works and Housing Ministry, and all the emergency response team, 48th Engineers Regiment, for the rescue that they did. I've seen many of the videos where people had to be carried out of their houses. They deployed their boats, and they helped to save quite a lot of lives. NADMO will do what it can to try and identify the victims and see how we can just support them in a way in the next few days. I've asked the Minister of Finance to release some money from the contingency fund so that we can do some post-flood relief for persons who have been affected. And so let me again express my sympathy, but let us change our attitude.
How long will the government continue to give temporal relief for flood affected victims? It keeps on happening. How long? When the government knows where the problem is, why not just chew that hard nut and fix that problem? But I understand, because in Ghana we take everything for politics as politics and all that. Because if again AMA starts this demolition and all that, politics will come in and all that, and people will be saying a lot of things. But here is the main problem. In Ghana, we have a problem of continuity of government projects. If this government leave office and another government takes over, that's all. Most of the project or the initiative or the things that the other government left behind are not properly attended to. We all know this, because listening to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I understand it clearly that this problem of Accra flooding and all that, there is a solution to the problem. But as I said, if NDC starts it today and NDC did not finish it, tomorrow if NPP comes or CPP or whoever comes, it's like this. It's 50-50. Whether he will continue or he will not. But the chance of the new government not to continue the previous government's project is high in Ghana. This is our problem. A very big thank you to the rescue team for risking their lives to rescue some people from their homes and all that. Our prayers to all the victims, all the people who have lost their lives.